Hey everybody, I'm Jason, and this is Jay's Project Garage. So I'm enjoying my 2 weeks off. It's Monday. I think this is my third video so far during my little mini vacation. If you've watched my other video, kind of know the backstory behind that. So my last, I made this goofy video on being a Ford engine detective, and that thing's got 107 views. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did that was any different. I need to keep doing it though, because I'm trying to grow the channel because it's good motivation for me. If this channel is of any interest to you whatsoever, if you're into Mustangs, Ford engines, Fox bodies, classics, the 31 Model A, we're gonna be getting all kinds of different stuff. If it's of any interest to you whatsoever, make sure you like and subscribe. This video is going to be on how to identify a 351 roller motor. So I'm going to put you guys on a stand and we're going to do a little teardown. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is look for the casting number. And that's that picture that I just had in there. You're going to look for an F4, and that's 94. From 94 to 97, when this thing went out of production, they were roller motors. So I was watching a video a couple days ago. Actually, I think it was just yesterday. I'm losing track of time already. I've only been on vacation for like 3 days. This is awesome. So anyway, I was watching this video, and this guy's gonna build a 393 stroker motor and put in his, I think it was in a Fox body or something. And he had a 351 Windsor sitting there. It was an injected deal, kind of like this one. I've already taken the upper end, taken everything off. And he's like, well, I think that is anything after 91 is a roller engine. It's not. It's 94. I promise. So without tearing the engine down, really the only way you know is to look for that casting number. So you need to make sure that you check for that. And I was actually going to do a whole video on tearing this thing down to the last nut and bolt, because I was going to see what I could get away with on this thing. Can I just do a freshen up and keep the stock pistons and stuff in there and use it? But I don't really want to do that. It's got the big honking dish piston. It's a truck engine. And I'd like to put a decent set of heads on it, set of AFRs or something. You guys really need to start liking and subscribing so I can afford to buy stuff for this thing. Just saying. Especially since, you know, I'm unemployed. Sort of. I mean, technically I have 2 jobs if I want them. But I cheated, and I went ahead and popped the valve covers off because I couldn't stand it. I had to see what was inside this thing. So I popped the valve, and this thing is super clean. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the valve. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the intake off, and then I'll bring you guys in here and I'll show you what the roller cam stuff looks like. In my last video, I was talking about the factory roller cam, roller lifters, dog bones, spider, and all that stuff. I'll show you what all those pieces actually are. Eat your heart out, GM guys. I can pull the intake without taking the distributor out. Oh, and it is a roller. Hang on a second, I'll show you. I don't know. That ain't bad for over 100,000 miles. This thing looks pretty damn decent. I think that's a G. Can you guys see that? What month is G? I can't math right now. But I'm gonna guess that 5's a 95. So it's a 95, it's cast in 95. Here is the roller cam stuff. This is the spider. These little pieces right here, these are the dog bones. See that? That's what keeps the lifter from twisting. And then the factory roller lifters. Hey, I think I've got all this stuff sitting on the bench over there. We'll go through it. I'll show you the individual pieces. All right, here's a challenge for you guys. How many of you can say the alphabet without singing it like you're in first grade? Because I can't. G is July. So July 22nd, 95 is when this thing was cast. 2 bolts hold down the spider. Loosen those up, take them out. You can lift the tray up. This is the dog bone. When you guys are building these things, you need to make sure that that little nipple right there is up, because that's what the spider rides on. And you'll see the flats on the lifters. That's what keeps these things from turning, so the roller stays pointing the right direction on the camshaft. And here is the history lesson portion of my video. So in '97, Ford brought out the all-new F-150. And when they brought out the new F-150, they also switched it over to a mod motor. So the old OBS, old body style trucks, and then nobody really liked them. I actually owned a '99, and I loved that truck. I put 140 or 50,000 miles on it, and awesome truck. But there's a lot of people that just don't like the looks because they softened them up so much. So in '97, they switched over to the mod motor, and the 351 carried on in '98 in the F-250s because they hadn't changed that body over yet. But I think the last production 351s were technically '97s, and there was just some rollover stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I'd have to go back and double check. End of history lesson. So like I said, I was going to do a complete teardown on this thing. I was going to show you guys every nut and bolt and bearings and everything else. Problem is, I'm not going to be using this engine for a little while. So I'm going to set the intake back on it and the valve covers back on to keep crap out. Even though when I popped the intake, a bunch of stuff fell down in there. It's going to the machine shop to get cleaned anyway. I just don't want it any worse than it has to be. So when I was young, I would have blown that thing down to the last nut and bolt and it would have been scattered all over the shop and I would have lost half of it, or forgotten where it was, or would have gotten mixed in with something else. If you're not going to be using an engine for a while, there's not really any reason to tear it down other than curiosity. So just try to resist the urge. It's safest in one big chunk. You can't lose something when it's still all together. So that's it. That's it for this little quick video. That's my Monday. I'm almost ready to call a power company. I'm this close. I got to drive in some ground rods and run a few ground wires and a couple other things. Call those guys up. Come out here and bear my power, man. I'm tired of looking at these lines hanging over my house. So that's it. For now, you guys enjoy your day at work while I'm loafing. Get out in the shop and work on your projects. You guys have a great day, and I will see you maybe in a couple days.